Good morning, ladies. Good morning. We back live. Valentine's Day weekend. It's all about self-love and self-care. And we live this morning for coffee and conversation. We have a really good conversation this morning about self-love, about loving yourself, about self-care and caring for yourself. Happy Valentine's Day. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Felicia. Good morning, Geraldine. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies. Do y'all have any plans for today, or is today just going to be a self-care, self-love day? What y'all got going on today? For me, today is going to be a self-care day, self-love day. So I probably either go to the beach, because that's what I typically do on my Sundays, or I might go downtown to the river walk and just take a walk downtown. I'm here in Tampa, so it's just so much to do, so much outdoor stuff to do. So that's how I like to spend my Sundays, somewhere outdoors in nature. Hey, Kim. Good morning. Oh, you gonna sleep today? That's self-care, right? Sleeping is a form of self-care. We all work so hard. Many of us work in corporate America, and we know how demanding corporate America is. And a lot of times we get exhausted, so sleep is good. 30, so I'll be inside. Ooh, Geraldine, 30 degrees. Yes, definitely an inside day. Definitely a good day to get a coffee or a tea and curl up and read a book, listen to some meditations, and just relax. Yes, I love those kind of days. Good morning, Angel. Happy Valentine's Day. Jessica says she's doing things with the kids. Oh, it's negative 30, Geraldine. Ooh. Oh my goodness. That is cold. But you know what, Geraldine? I bet it's beautiful where you live at in the wintertime. I bet it's real nice. Good morning, Tamika. Okay, so Jessica says she's doing things with the kids today, making pizza, painting, and watching movies. The beach would be amazing. Yeah, I'm blessed to be in Tampa for these last few weeks. I've been here working, so it has been a blessing. But a part of Valentine's Day is loving on your kids. And I love the fact that you said that, Jessica, because so many women are like, oh, you know, I'm single, blah, blah, blah. But you can still have people to love on. You can love on your kids. You can love on your parents. You can love on your best friends. Love is love. And you know, kids love. I know they've probably been talking about painting all day. Snow in Florida. Oh, see, Tamika is having a Galentine Day. Her and her sister is getting together today and having a Galentine's Day. See, I just love love, and I love seeing people love on each other, and especially during this season. Last year, you know, everybody was all apart, and now people are more so coming back together, and that is the beauty of love. Kim said painting sounds good. I love to paint. We should actually do a paint night. If anybody know how to teach paint, let us know, and we can coordinate. And we can coordinate a online paint night. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, ladies. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Katie Hagman. She is a licensed therapist. And this woman, she is just absolutely amazing. Every time I talk to her, I'm like, how do you do it all? How do you do it all? She's a mother of two. She's a wife. She's a therapist. She owns her own business. She do a lot of networking events, and she also has in January, and we'll talk about this. She has a women's retreat that's going to be happening in Jamaica. But today she's going to be here with us, and I'm grateful because she has a husband, and today she's here with us, helping us with tips for self-care. So I'm going to bring her on, and we appreciate her time. Just 1 second, and we will get her on. Oh, let's see here. It is Valentine's Day. It's all about love today. I think, honestly, for me, it's all about love every day. I don't think that we need one day to tell people that we love them. I don't agree with that. I love every single day all throughout the year, but I think it's cool as a nation for everybody to choose one day, but I believe you should love every day. That should just be a part of being a human being, is loving. All right, give you 1 second and we will get Katie on. Let's see here. Right, Kim? Let's love every day. Let's make that a norm, right? Let's make loving every day a norm. Let's see here. All right, Katie, you might have to try to request to get on. I'm trying to look for your name right here. Invited. Give us just a second and she will be getting on. Kind of hot. Let's see here. Just 1 second, ladies. Okay, I'm just sending her the invite again. Geraldine, that's her. There's Angel. Thank you, ladies, for being patient. This is going to be a good one today. Let's see here. Just a second. Oh, there she go. All right. She's coming on now. All right. So we're going to get this conversation this morning. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. I had to use my cell phone. I don't know why it didn't work on my
computer.
Yeah, it wouldn't work on my computer. So, but that's okay. I'm here. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yes.
Yes. Thank you for taking the time away from your family to serve and to help us this morning, to give us some good self-care tips. We really appreciate that. You know, that says a lot about you, who you are, and it says a lot about your servant heart to take this time on your Valentine's Day and spend it with us. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for having me and your wonderful platform. I'm so proud of you and giving this space for us women to connect and be able to discuss what we're doing to help each other. So thank you.
Oh, you welcome. And like you said, like a space to connect and to talk about it, right? A lot of the things as women we don't talk about. And this platform we use so we can talk about those things, right?
Right.
Like today, our topic, we're going to be talking about self-care. A lot of us, we think we know what self-care is, but we really don't. We really don't.
No. So, exactly. Like right now, there's a lot like about self-care. A lot of people promote things under self-care.
Mhm.
But what is it and how do you apply it, right?
Mhm.
So when we think about self-care, I like to say self-love instead because that gives a little extra. It makes you feel like, okay, love is important. So how can we love ourselves? And first, I want to just say that self love, self care is just the part of knowing what makes you feel good, right? And if you
Mhm.
don't know, that is okay. Because believe it or not, it changes. And it's not what everybody else tells you that it should be. So if I like something and I'm like, oh girl, you should do this because that's good for you. That doesn't mean it has to be your thing, right?
Mhm.
So I just want to clarify that because I think that's important because many times as women, we force ourselves to do stuff and we realize we really don't like it, but we do it anyway. So that's important. And so I like to tell people about self care with mind, body, and soul, that
Mhm.
connection, right? We were talking about that the other day or here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so it's important that we love ourselves, and when we do that, that we break it down in three parts: our minds, our body, and our soul. So our minds being the mental health part, your
Mm,
well-being.
mm,
We can't take care of other people if we can't take care of ourselves first, right? So the mind, the brain is so important because that is one of our biggest organs in our bodies. Like
mm.
honestly, what happens if you don't have your brain?
You become a vegetable.
Yeah. But yet we don't look at it as that important, right?
Mhm.
Like we become a vegetable and it is so important. Like we can't do anything else. Matter of fact, you can't even do anything with your body or even do anything to really tap in with your soul without your brain. So it's
Mhm.
so important that we do that. Um, what does that look like when we talk about the minds and taking care of it? What do you think that is? Anybody in the comments? Can't even see my comments. There we go. So what do you guys think? What does it look like when we say taking care of the mind and self-care?
Kim said the pilot always says put the air mask on yourself first. Otherwise, you won't be able to put it on
I
anyone
love
else.
that. Yes, Kim. That is so true and so
Yeah.
important. Yes. But when we talk about taking care of our mind, that is our well-being. So, for instance, if you're trying to balance everything, like Kiara said, I have many different hats. And
Mhm.
if I'm trying to balance these things, I have to take time to know um, what I need to do to take care of myself. For instance, when I see the client and if I am feeling drained, overwhelmed, I pause. And if
Mhm.
I need to not see a number exceed a number, I won't. So what that will look like for people that's in corporate America, that means that you know when to stop. You know when you need to call out sick. And sick, mental health is under sick. So if it's just a mental health day, you need to do it. You don't need an explanation. That's sick. Your brain is sick, is what I like to say. Yep, your brain is sick. So absolutely, Jessica, I see she said boundaries. Boundaries is big, right? You need to know what you will and what you cannot tolerate. And that's
Mhm.
talking about relationships. And when we speak on relationships, it is not just with a significant other. This is included families and friends and coworkers, even your work boundaries, right? Like we are given a lot of different things to do. So you need to know what your boundaries are. But when we speaking of boundaries with relationships, ladies, that's important, right? You have to learn what you would tolerate. So yes, you get the excuse first couple of times when you're dating someone or in a relationship with someone, where you might let things go, but you need to learn from it. That's how you create boundaries, that you learn from your experiences, right?
And one thing that I like that you said when we were talking the other day, you said protect yourself. And instead of the word boundaries, use limitations. These are my limits. You said set limits.
Absolutely. So there is a difference. When we say boundaries, it can be so rigid, right? But when you say limits, it lets you know that your limits is what you can tolerate, right? Boundaries is kind of like, well, this is me. I'm putting myself in a box and no, we when we use that one, it just sounds a little bit more vulgar, but absolutely, I do like to replace boundaries with limits. And if you say limits, it comes off a little differently. And then you may see the picture better, right? You may see, okay, what is my limit? What am I able to deal with before my whole mood change?
Wow. Wow.
Before things becomes heavy on my soul, right? Because not only, so when we're talking about mind, body, and soul, when you can't grasp things enough mentally, it dwells into your soul. And that soul is that spiritual part.
Yeah.
So that's when we go into the mindfulness. When we talk about the mindfulness, right? So when we talk about self-care and self-love, it's simple things. It's the simple things. So for instance, drinking your water. That's self-love because listen, you need water to maintain, right? It's as simple as that. So you need to know, once again, is what I'm saying, what works for you, what's good for you, right? Yeah. So going on a vacation sounds good, but it may not fit for your self-care in the moment if you know you have a lot of bills that is messing with your mental, right?
Wow.
So those bills are stressing you out. So a vacation is not going to help you because you're going to get on vacation and then you're going to still be thinking about those bills. So it's prioritizing and knowing that, okay, I can't do this now, but I'm working to do that later, right? So once again, the limits. So mindfulness. So mindfulness is something that a lot of therapists say and they use, but it is very helpful. This is something that we can work on independently. Kiara, like I said, you doing things and you don't even know that you are really helping these ladies. So mindfulness is a tool that we have where we just focus on the present, here and now. So me talking to you ladies, that is something that you can use in the moment to focus. So instead of, for instance, I hear my kids upstairs, right? And I'm talking to you guys. So my goal is to focus in this conversation. So that's what mindfulness is being in the moment, not worrying about what you need to do, what you got going on when you get done with whatever you're doing, because you lose sight. Mindfulness is a key to be present. We want to be present. We want to be here. For instance, I'm going to talk about the kids. So we often are on autopilot because we have so much to do. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I have to do this, right? But sometimes our kids need us to be present. So if they come to you and they're talking about, and kids are slick. It can be something real quick, real fast. And they know how you move too. So they can throw something at you and you might be like, okay, yeah, right? But you may have missed something very heavy, right? So we have to learn to just stop what we're doing and give that focus, even in relationships. So today is Valentine's Day. And like Kiara was saying, like you don't have to have a significant other to really celebrate the holiday. You know, this is important to just be mindful where you are. So if you have no one, if there's no kids, if there's not the significant other, if your parents are not around, it's okay. So be in the moment with you, right? Cicely Tyson, she had this profound quote that every time I talk about mindfulness, I think about it. She said her most profound moments was with herself.
See.
And, you know, thinking about that, right, is when you can turn it all off. You don't have to answer to anybody. You can just be raw in the moment and tap into your soul. If it's prayer that you need to really get one-on-one relationship with God in that moment, there it is. If it's meditation where you just need to clear your mind and to really focus on something, there you go. You know, like it's just really being in that moment to clear your thought and to just have something to think about. So that's what mindfulness is, just learning to be in the moment, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with your husband, your boyfriend, your children, just really focusing and honing in on what they say. You know, if it's within prayer, that's when you really find answers, is when you really can focus in on whatever you're trying to do. And how do we do this? Because it sounds easy, but you're right. It's not easy, right? Because, but we're human. So it's normal. So I gave you the example here the other day about mindfulness eating, right? So that's when we're in the morning, we're trying to eat our breakfast, and usually we eating on the go, or we are trying to still get kids ready or whatever the case may be. Don't do that, because what we're doing is we're building new pathways in our brain to calm ourselves when we can just focus on something. So when you're having breakfast or your tea or your coffee or whatever, right? Just try to just focus on that coffee and tea. So a trick to do that is use your senses, right? So smell that coffee or that tea, right? And so you're focusing on the smell, and then you tell yourself, okay, well, let me see what it tastes like, right? Because sometimes we eat and we drink and we don't know nothing about what we just did. So when we practice mindfulness, being in the moment, we tell ourselves, we push ourselves, okay, right? And it can be all types of things that's going on in your environment, but when you master the skill to focus, it just gives you a sense of calmness. So some of us are running around here with what I call a busy brain. Mm-hmm. Meaning like you can't sit down, because as soon as you sit down, you're like, oh, I need to go do this. Oh yeah, I need to call somebody. Oh, I forgot to do that for work. Let me log in right quick. Because right now, you know, most of the time we work from home. So it just makes sense. So just practicing to be in the moment really is going to benefit you for several different reasons. One of them I mentioned is to build the healthier relationships, because if you're actually listening to what your kids or your husband or what your friends are saying, your response will mean so much more to them.
Right. And we have so many distractions. Even me, like I'm guilty. Like I can be in the room and I'll be on my cell phone, you know, and it's like so much going on around me and people want my attention, but I'm like, I'm on my cell phone, you know, so just taking that time just to put that cell phone away and just dedicating that time with your family, you know, like I know Jessica was saying earlier today, her kids for Valentine's Day, they're going to be painting, eating pizza and watching movies. You know, and she's going to be present in that moment. And those are the most important things in life.
Yes. And then guess what, ladies? When we're present in those moments, I'm not saying you need to do a whole 2 hours or an hour, right? It can be 5 to 10 minutes. But guess what? This is when I go and talk about quality over quantity. So we can be present for a few minutes, and that will mean so much more than us being present, like in the same space, but not being present, paying attention and listening and responding, right? So that's why I like to tell, because I'm like, as you know, I do a lot. And oftentimes I used to have a lot of guilt because I'm doing a lot, but I'm a mom and I'm a wife. And what brings me joy is my family, but also what brings me joy is being a boss. Like I like being a boss. So
And you do
how do you balance it all, right? And so I had to learn that it's really about quantity,
it.
right? That when you do give your time, it's meaningful. It's really meaningful. You are present, you're in the moment, and they remember those things. So that's great for what the kids had. So this morning for Valentine's, I woke up and I had my little kids, their little Valentine's basket. And what I did with them is I let them open it up in front of me, and I was present. And every time they picked something up, it was something that I was able to say, Mommy will know you like chocolate, so mommy got you your chocolates. And they're like, ah, you know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
those
yeah.
little moments, like those little things that I highlight for them so they're able to which brings me to my journal I created. I have a parent and child journal, and that's what it was about. It was me learning to connect with my kids on different levels when I'm such a go person, right? So check that out. That's on my website as well. So yeah, but just, I could go on all day about this stuff because this is what I do. But my tip to all you ladies is just learning to be in the moment when you have so much more. Even my husband, I can't forget, the husband so it's times that I have to remember, our time may not really be where we can focus on each other until it's almost bedtime. And at bedtime, I'm exhausted. But
Yeah.
in order to keep our relationship, you have to make sacrifices and know that, let me give my husband his attention for the day because I done did everything else. So he deserves that, right? So that's just it. It's just being mindful.
And speaking of being mindful, I know one of the things that we talked about is you said something that was like an Oprah aha moment to me, which was love your mind. Love your mind. And you were like, say positive affirmations, say good things about yourself so you can feel good. And that's all a part of self-love.
Absolutely. Listen, we're going back to the brain. Like, listen, I'm a brain person. I even like to show people when I talk about the brain. This is my picture of the brain, right? This is your prefrontal cortex when you look at the brain. This is the front of your head. This is the back of everything, right? So our brain is so important because this is how we function. So if you tell yourself you're no good, you're not going to get this promotion, guess what? You're not gonna get it.
Right.
You learn to tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna get this promotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am the best person, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love myself. Like I am everything. You start to believe it because your brain is taking in that. Whatever you take in is how your whole vibe is going to be. So when you start telling yourself and put it out there, a couple things happen. You talking to God, God hears you, right?
Yes.
Your brain hears you. So your brain gives you an extra pep. It
Mm-hmm.
peps you up to say,
Yeah.
like, where your whole demeanor, people notice something about you. You become more confident because you start to believe that you can do it. And when you enter in that room and you get that interview, or you doing it virtually, whatever the case may be, people like, oh yeah, I can see her with this job, right? It just people start talking. It's all about yourself. So if you
Right.
believe it, you get this aurora about yourself, and then everything around you believes it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have to love our brains. We have to know that that's important. That our brain makes us function. All that.
And another thing too is loving your body, right? Moving your body, working out, exercising.
Mhm.
Even if you take 30 minutes a day just to work out. And I know a lot of us are at home, but they have so many videos on YouTube that you can watch where you can do a daily 30-minute workout, right?
Yes. So one thing about me is that I have people all around me who are into physical fitness. I have my brother Brandon who lives right here. He's on it. He owns a gym. I have friends, another brother who's into it. So it's a constant reminder that physical health is so important. It's so important. And it really is a connection. I'm gonna go back, mind, body, and soul. Like, in order to take care of the mind, you have to take care of the body. And spiritually, in the Bible, it talks about the body being an importance, right? Like, so that is something that we do. We have to make sure that we do. But when we talk about self-care, it's going back to what I said. It's doing what makes you feel good. So yes, you may see people around you at the gym throwing sweat, get it. But if it's not working for you, if you don't see it that way, it's okay. Still work out, but your workout may be walking. That is just as healthy, right? Or your workout may be doing yoga. That is just as healthy. So you have to find what works for you when we scream self-care. It doesn't have to be what everybody around you is doing. It's just you finding it. You finding it and figuring it out.
Absolutely. Because I know when the pandemic happened, for me, I used to go to the gym. I used to love going to the gym. And then they shut down all the gyms. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm having a breakdown. And then close the church and then close the gyms. So I ended up just walking outside for an hour each day. And then I was able to tap into nature because I was able to see the sunset and I was able to get fresh air. So that became a part of my daily routine. So every day I would get off of work and I would say, y'all know this is my hour where I'm going to walk for a day. Don't disturb me or walk.
But that's good. And that is so true. When we talk about the pandemic, listen, I was down too. Like, for me, being a therapist and screaming everything you need to do, listen, let me tell y'all something. If y'all seeing a therapist, make sure your therapist is seeing a therapist because that's how you know if she's healthy or not. Okay? So I just gave y'all a little tour. Yeah, because it's important. We're people, we're human too. We have the same issues. And so when the pandemic happened, and when we talk about self-care, you gotta identify that. When the pandemic happened, like my whole world shook because I was a busybody. I was out there. I knew what I had to do. I had routine. I'm a routine person. And all that stopped. And then I noticed my energy. I didn't want to do anything. Anything I didn't want to do. I barely was putting my son on virtual because just, thank goodness, I had somebody here like my husband who would help. But I had to notice that and I had to give myself grace.
Permission.
Like, we gotta learn to give ourselves grace. We have to know when to stop and take an inventory of ourselves, an assessment, and just tell yourself it's okay. If you need to be in the bed a little longer, it's okay. It only becomes a problem when it starts to affect your daily living. So if you need a day or two and you don't feel like it and you feeling sad, feel your emotions, feel sad. A lot of people try to make you feel like you can't. No.
I'm feeling sad today, and I'm feeling all of the sadness. What's going on? I'm feeling every piece of this sadness.
That's exactly where I feel like sometimes you gotta feel them emotions. We can't.
Yeah, you do.
Americans, we are so quick to try to put something on it. Oh, I need some medicine for this. I need some medicine for that. I don't want to feel anxious. Well, we need to feel them because if you don't feel them, you're not gonna know what it's like, right? You're not gonna. Or we over medicate our own selves by smoking marijuana or drinking a lot of alcohol. Like, okay, yes, some of those things are legal, but the problem is how you do it and what you're doing it for. That becomes a problem. If you can't feel your feelings and your emotions and you need those things to sustain, then that's a problem. If you are in the bed and you can't get out and it's past 4 or 5 days and you just can't do it, then that's the problem. But if it's a day or two, give yourself that. Feel it.
Right. Right. And a lot of people, and back to talking about the pandemic, since the pandemic, began to numb themselves with, like you said, like the drugs and the alcohol and this and that, which is another conversation. But just knowing that you can go inward, right? And go inward, and that's where you're going to find your inner peace. Nothing on the outside world, because tomorrow your problems are still going to be there. They're still going to be there, you know. So you have to just take some time to set some time for yourself to go inward. Take that time with God or spirituality, whatever you believe. Take that time aside to go in. I like to journal. That's one of the things that I like to do, Katie.
Yeah. So like you said, those problems are still going to be there regardless. And you may create even more problems, right? And we have people around us who are watching, and then you start to become paranoid. It just becomes this bigger issue that, you know, we could just work on a surface level. Yes, Kimberly, she said the overeating. Yes, overeating because of our emotions. That is big too. Absolutely. So we can talk about all these things that, you know, can
and I like the way one thing that Sarah said that she do a 6 a.m. 15 or 20-minute yoga in the winter time. And I love meditation. So yoga is great.
Yes. I have a lot of resources that I'll put on here, but there's on YouTube, like you said, they have them all, they list them. And in the morning, me too, Sarah, I'm with you. I do a yoga, especially now because I transitioned from I'm getting better at getting over a surgery, so I didn't want to go straight out into working out. But yoga has been very soothing and it's been able to get me moving. So it's important. And like she said, 15, 20 minutes. That is good. That is you working on your body. So don't let people and what they do determine about your self-care plan. And so to wrapping things up, you know, talking about all these things, it is so important that we tap into our spiritual level as well, our soul. Yes. And as soon as I said that, there's a tire.
Hey, Tia. Hey, Ida. Hey, lady. Thank you for joining. Hey, Thelma. Thank you for joining.
Yes. So yes, that spiritual level. So you can do that with the journaling. I seen you do meditation. Definitely having that one-on-one time with God. Absolutely. Scripture reading, community service. Like this is how we tap into our soul. And as I said, you feel those emotions, right? It's important to feel those emotions. And when you can feel emotions for when you tap into your soul, it's a different type of feeling, right? So I talk about physiological feelings. Physiological feelings are the feelings you feel in your body, like it's something in your body that you feel. So it's different. So it's like when people describe joy, a joy that you have, right? That joy that you feel when we really feel it and really examine it, it may be like just I can't even describe it, but it's something our body does that you feel in your soul, like a cool calming that comes over you, right? So it may be that your blood is giving you a feeling, or like your heart has a steady beat. It's different, right? So those are things that you have to explore when you're feeling the stuff that's good for the soul, because that helps.
Thank you so much, Katie. And before you get off, there's a few more things I want to talk to you about just really quick, just two more things. One of the things that you have on your website, you have these self-care boxes with teas and essential oils. Can you let us know, because Jessica mentioned it would be amazing if you can share some of the tools that you have about the teas and the essential oils that you offer to help us with our self-care routine.
Yeah, so on my site, in my self-care boxes, I have teas, because I'm a tea person, and these are loose leaf herbal teas. And this one is elevate my mood. It helps with mood, and there's natural things in these teas that help with that. So just to give a quick disclaimer, please consult with your doctors if you're on other medication before you use. These are all natural things though. But this have like lavender flower in it, which helps with your mood. And this one is I need to focus. So if you need a little extra kick to help you really, really focus on things, like you're trying to work and you can't really work because you have all these things going on, tea can help in the morning to help that. And this is sleep, please. So if you have a hard time sleeping, it has chamomile flowers in it. So they're all natural. And then I have sprays to go with it in the box, and also bracelets and just a little card about the importance of self-care. So you can find them on the website. I also have t-shirts that promote self-care. My girl, T's Creations, Tanisha, definitely helped me with that. So I am just so happy to be here and to share that with you guys. Also on the website, I have different resources. So as you mentioned, the workout, I have little video clips of that. Also, Journey Celine Ring, she's in the site. She's really good when women work out, and she gives a really good kick butt workout exercise. So yeah, I have a lot, guys, and I'm very happy to share. I have therapy sites where you can find a therapist in your area. I will definitely put all that stuff on this video link so you guys can use.
Thank you so much, Katie. And one more thing. So next year in January, you're going to be hosting a self-care retreat in Jamaica, right?
Yes, 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 yes. So I was actually brought on to do that. So I'm one of the co-hosts that I will be hosting that, ladies. It is just going to be so much fun. And so the event there is for whoever wants to come. So it's not just the ladies, meaning like if you want to bring your husband or boyfriend, that's fine. But we are going to be doing a lot of great things that's going to be focused on ourselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So you want to be there. It's a good time, and start your payment plan today.
Yes. So thank you so much, Katie, for coming on Valentine's Day and giving us all those self-care tips and all the knowledge you know as a therapist. After this call, I'm going to drop all of her information to all of her links. So pick up you some tea or some essential oils for your house, you know, to keep it calm and peaceful. We have a lot going on nowadays, and our peace is most important. Right?
I have a coupon for you guys for listening today. So I have a 20% off coupon. So all you have to do is add the code is self-love. Okay, I'll drop that too. And so supplies are limited, and you guys are the first that I'm announcing this to. So let's see, ladies.
All right. Thank you so much, Katie. Everybody have a blessed Valentine's Day. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.